Hello, so in this video today I'm going to show you our winter garden. In this space here, this is what we've got going so far. And most of these, there's a few in here that are still remnants of our summer garden, but most of these are things we have planted to grow for us through the winter. And our plans are later after it gets cold out, that's where we've got these set up. We had plastic over them this year to kind of greenhouse them in a little bit. So that's our plan for this year too. But let me show you what we've got in here. All right, so first we've got the yarrow. This is something we grow all year long, but it still remains throughout the winter too. And this is a piece that I had accidentally pulled out of the ground from somewhere else the other day, so I decided to replant it here. But if we look throughout the bed, there are babies popping up everywhere. There's that guy there. I think there's, yeah, you can see there's a teeny baby there and right here. So yeah, the yarrow, as you can see, it travels under the ground and starts popping up everywhere. So, which is something to remember if you're planting yarrow, that will happen. But we don't mind because we like having plenty of it, so. Let's see. And we have a few of our cruciferous vegetables here. So we got a purple Cape cauliflower growing right here. And here's a red rubine Brussels sprout. Now both of these, I know the Brussels sprout, I'm thinking it was the same for this one too, actually are about a year old now because we bought them last year as baby plants. And they lasted throughout the summer, because they were kind of kept shaded by some of the other things growing over here. So they stayed up and they're about a year old now, but as you can see, they're definitely liking the little bit of cooler weather now. Brussels sprouts are one of my favorite cruciferous vegetables, so I hope we start getting something off there. And what do we have here? Purple Vienna kohlrabi. That's one I don't believe we've ever actually eaten the kohlrabi root itself, but I personally like growing it because our chickens like eating the leaves a lot. So that's one of the reasons that I like growing it. Let's see, and right here. These are actually beet tops. So we bought beets from the grocery store and then cut the tops off and planted the tops in the ground. So while it won't have a beet root on it, it at least is growing leaves, and that's another thing. The rabbits eat it, the chickens eat it, so we like having it for it to keep growing more leaves. But that's a pretty easy thing to do if it's something you'd like to try, if you like beet leaves. This here is a sugarloaf chicory. So that's a plant we bought from one of our local growers. Over here we have a purple radish. That's that. Rosso. That was a garlic, but I don't see it, so that must be gone. And right there, you can see there's some sage growing. So this I grew from seed. It kind of got lost in our pots. And I didn't get to sticking it in the ground till recently, so I'm hoping it'll start to perk up a little bit and grow. Here's another red rubine Brussels sprout. This one was one we bought this year. So that's the same thing I showed you before, just smaller. Let's see, we've also got several bunches of pansies in here. So right here, the tag's gone from this one. These are nice purple color. But these do better in the cold too, as far as flowers, if you are wanting a pop of color. Then there's these pansies. They're not flowering right now. That was the Delta Premium Pure White. So that was a white colored pansy. And then over here, this was the Matrix Lavender shade. So that one's got a little bit of like some white. It kind of reminds me of like paint. So those are pretty some of our animals will eat the flowers off of those, and pansies are edible, so that's why we picked those to grow them. And then here, this is a Tokyo Bacana. It's like an Asian green. I rather like that one myself, and again, the chickens definitely enjoy a lot of these winter greens. Let's see, and then, oh, right here, that is the Viola Francese. So that was another garlic, but this one actually is here, as you can see. And something important about the garlic when you're planting it, if you've got a plant like this, because there will still be like a little bulb of garlic attached to the bottom, like when we bought it, you want to make sure that that bulb of garlic is very buried under the dirt. So that was something, and it kind of has to be buried deep to make sure it, you know, roots properly and starts growing well. So that's just something to note about that. Let's see. Here's our rosemary plant. I've loved it lately with all the little flowers on it. We've never gotten so many flowers. I think that was a Japanese flowering kale. It probably died, but I'm leaving it because it might still have root on it. We'll see. But yeah, so that's about it as far as what we're growing here. But I also did want to mention too, throughout the garden, to fertilize, I've actually used, because I keep rabbits, so I've been using their manure to fertilize the garden here. And because it's a cold manure, you can actually put it on, you know, without having it compost like you'd have to do with like chicken manure and certain other things. But the rabbit manure can go straight on. So I've been sprinkling some of that throughout to kind of get things to start growing. I think it's been helping some. It's been, you know, maybe a little more than a week since I did that, but I think that has helped with some growth. We do have various green onions. We've definitely found that's a good winter crop to grow, is green onions. Those grow through a lot of cold and are just good to have as a, you know, a bonus flavoring for a lot of your cooking and culinary purposes. So we like having those around too. So here in these two boxes, we've got, let's see, fig cuttings in here, and then over here autumn olive. So fig tree cuttings that my sister had made, and then the autumn olive, which is one of the bushes that we have that does create some edible berries off of it. And I think the mulberry, yeah, and then some mulberry cuttings. So those are just some cuttings she started, since as it's gotten cold out, we've had to trim back things. So we like to try and make cuttings out of things, you know, don't let that go to waste. And just if anyone was wondering what this little pink plant, this wasn't part of the winter garden, this was part of what remained out of the summer, but this is a gomphrena plant. So it's got really pretty flowers. You can make tea with the flowers. I've not done that yet. But yeah, that's just something that's kind of remained from the warmer weather. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video about our winter garden, and hopefully that's something I can update you later, especially once we've got the plastic up, so I can kind of show you, you know, what's going on and how well things are growing then. But thank you for watching.